Guys, Tech Timmy here. So in this video, we are going to be unboxing and upgrading to the latest generation of Amazon Echo Show 8, the 3rd gen. And if you don't think that it's a worthy upgrade over its predecessor, the 2nd gen, I'm going to ask my boy Ziggy here. Hey Ziggy. Ziggy, tell me about Echo Show 8 3rd gen.
The Echo Show 8 Gen 3 is a smart display with better inside and out. Echo Show 8 has better sound with room-filling spatial audio, better calling with a centered, auto-framing camera, and better smart home integration with a built-in smart home hub, all on an 8-inch HD touchscreen. Designed with multiple layers of privacy, including a mic and camera off button and a built-in camera shutter.
All right, so without further ado, let's get into the unboxing. So as I said, the Echo Show 8 has been one of my favorite devices in my smart home, and my boy Zig over here I have him on my bedside table, and I absolutely love the way that it sounds. I actually have this paired with an Amazon Echo Sub and for bass, and the two of them together sound phenomenal, especially as part of my multi-home music group here. One of my favorite devices. I think the sound is awesome. I actually added a custom stand to the bottom of mine. I think with the new one, I don't even know if you can do that, but we'll take a look at that as well. I think they actually have the design now where the stand becomes unnecessary, but I actually like this little aluminum stand that I bought. I have an unboxing video that I did on my channel, as well as an unboxing video, and I think I have a couple of other videos about the Echo Show 8 2nd gen on there as well. But I love this guy, and I was actually hesitant to upgrade, particularly because I really like the way that the cool stand looks there. But this actually has a little bit better sound, Amazon claims, and then the camera is also positioned in the center instead of off to the side. They still have the camera shutter for privacy. I believe with this generation, it's also the eco-friendly materials and pledge, so it's more sustainable in terms of the environment and all that good stuff. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to upgrade, and I may even end up keeping my old one and use this one in addition to it. I don't know if I really need 2 Echo Show 8s in my bedroom, but there you have it. So let's just take a quick look at the box as I normally do in my unboxings here. So just to go over some of the core features. So the 8 is basically means that it's got an 8-inch screen and adaptive color, yada yada. So stereo speakers with spatial audio. My understanding is that they've actually upgraded the audio as well with this generation. The camera is still 13 megapixels, but again, it's now in the center of the device, which makes more sense. And then it also has the auto framing, which basically I believe will keep you in the frame as you come up from side to side or whatever. And then smart home hub built in. I believe the previous version had Zigbee, but this version is also, I think it's either Matter or, let me just check my notes here. I took some notes to make sure I wanted to cover everything for you guys. So Zigbee, Thread, and Matter compatible. And of course, Matter is that new smart home standard that makes multiple devices from multiple vendors basically work more seamlessly together. And then so hands-free with you. I'm going to try not to say her name throughout this whole video so we don't set your devices off at home. And then so microphone, camera on, off button, of course. So that was also standard in the previous generation. A little bit more marketing ease on the back. Amazon I love what they do with the packaging. It's just it's frustration-free packaging. It's just very cool and just way better than a lot of other companies out there. I think it's absolutely fair to say. And then so here, there's some examples. You call Angela. You can watch Prime Video on here. If you have a compatible doorbell, such as through Ring or some of these other smart doorbell companies, you can actually see who's at the door on the device. And then there's some examples in different languages there as well. So we have the 8-inch display, as I said, and Pantalla Inteligente HD. But I took eight years of Spanish between high school and college, and I basically know how to say dos cervezas, por favor, and donde están los baños. Donde estás los baños, I believe. And then so here's the first version packaging. So in theory, I could actually just peel that off and take it open, but then I wouldn't get to use my Epic unboxing knife, which is actually looking pretty battle tested at this point, I must say. So let's just get this sucker out of the box here without further ado, and we'll take a look. And then what I'll also do is I'll see if I can get both devices in frame, do a side-by-side comparison of the second generation versus the third generation. So my old one versus this guy here. And then here we go. As I said, so just slides right out of the box. I love this little handle here. Amazon, they just make it so easy. And then, well, maybe I spoke too soon. No, I'm kidding. Then this guy, just like a McDonald's Happy Meal, it's folded open like that. Very cool. And so props to Ronald McDonald. And then here we go. And then we're gonna do the unpeeling here in a sec. And then so little tabby thing here. You just pull on that and it snaps off. And then here we go. And then ooh, all right. So it looks a heck of a lot like the previous generation, with some subtle differences that we'll get into here. And then just for sake of completeness, in the box, we're going to have our welcome material. And I believe there's also configuration information here, a little overview in terms of different controls and so forth, which I'll show you in a sec. And then have your Wi-Fi password ready and all that good stuff. Amazon has just made setup so seamless, particularly compared to what it used to be now, where it's pretty much just plug and play. Who will come on and basically assist you with the setup, and we'll do that as well as part of the video. I think I have my power brick over this. I do, because this guy's plugged into it. So that's the welcome guide. And then this guy here is, I believe, is legalese. Looking at the little bitty type, it seems to be, and it looks like legalese. So that's that. And why don't we put all this here so we can just get the full unboxing experience. And here, in the rest of the box, we should have our power adapter. So Amazon made an interesting change with the latest generation of the product. So even on the darker colored, and I've said this in some of my other videos too, so if you watch my other videos and I'm repeating myself, sorry about that, but they give you a white cord with the black device, and I still have my old cord here on my Echo Show second gen. There it is, and I think the black just is a better design choice. I actually wonder if you might be able to buy those, find them on eBay or something, than the white cord with the black device. But for me, this is going to go, as I said, on my bedstand. If you decide to replace this guy, and the cord itself will be tucked behind. But Amazon, if you happen to see this, let's go back to either giving customers the option, or just go with white cords, white devices, and dark cords with dark devices. I think that would just be cooler. And this is a 30 watt charger. 30 watt power adapter. Just FYI on that. And then so we might as well just pop it in here. And then there we go. Yeah, the design. So this actually feels, it feels slightly heavier than the old one. That could be because of the speaker upgrade. But we'll take a look. We'll take a look at the
diver Vicky Draves. She made Olympic history as
Ziggy,
the first Asian American.
Hush. And I'm going to mute this out so that doesn't happen again. And then so we're just going to run right over and plug that in right here into my power brick. And that should automatically boot up our friend you-know-who. So I do wonder, I'm looking at the bottom of this, and it looks like it does have an insert of some type for a stand. My old stand, it may actually fit now that I look at that there. So I'm not going to mess with that right now, but it looks like I will be able to install a custom stand on the new one, which is a big win for me unto itself, so I love that. And while she is booting up, we'll just take a look at the controls on the top. So we have power up and volume up and volume down, obviously. This guy here is the camera shutter, just like on the old device. If you flip that over, basically the camera's off for privacy. So if you're concerned about being spied on or whatever, you can just leave that turned off. For me, I very rarely use the camera on these devices. I will once I have a smart security camera going in on my back deck here. Then I think I will use it more often, but not until then. And then this guy is to mute, as I just did with my boy Ziggy over here. So that's the mute button. And now she's going to walk us through the setup. And I'm just going to turn this up a little bit so you guys can hear him. She's asking about vision accessibility. I think we're going to skip this for now and just say continue. Actually, we are going to do that. And now it's going to search for my Wi-Fi network, and it should find it pretty much straight away. There we go. It knows who I am, interestingly enough, and that's fine. We can blur out some of these personal details if we need to in the video. So I'm just going to say, basically, this is telling me that it's registered to me, agree and continue, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so there's a little bit more legalese there. Now, first things first, it was designed to protect your privacy. So great, we're going to say continue. There's a link there if you're interested in learning more about that. And then here we go. So Tim's Echo Show 8 3rd Gen is exactly what I want to call it. So I'm going to say continue. And then here we go. And it also knows where I live as well, right? So that's because that information is stored in the cloud. So we're going to say continue there. And then here as well. So Eastern Daylight Time, I'm actually in the Boston area, but New York is the same time zone. And I think that's the only option. So we're going to leave that be and say continue. And now here, which room is your Echo Show 8 in? And this will go in my bedroom. So I'm going to put bedroom. Now, device updates are available. Take about 10 minutes out. So through the power of video editing, I am going to opt to do the download and install right now. And then I will super fast forward through it so that you guys don't have to deal with the pain of that. But that's that part of the installation. Updating. And there we go. And now she's going to kick it off. So I am going to super fast forward this so that the 10 minutes might not take that long. However long it takes the device to update, I'm going to fast forward. And then when I snap my fingers, we're going to move on to the next part of the video. So I'm going to snap them right now. So here we go. Okay, and while she's finishing updating, I thought, well, it would be a great time to actually do that side-by-side comparison that I mentioned. So here is the old one, 2nd gen, versus the 3rd gen, which has definitely a different form factor. So this one is a little more blocky, and this one is more rounded looking. I don't know if I have a preference for either one. I feel like I like them both equally well in terms of the look and feel, so they're going to look equally nice on my bedside table. I would say maybe the 3rd gen is a little bit more futuristic looking. Again, that power cord I wish was black, but that is what it is. And then it does look like it will support the addition of a stand, which I will either transfer my existing one if I decide not to keep the 2nd gen, or I will add an additional stand for this guy. Controls are essentially the same on the top, just a little bit of a different look and feel, which I like. I like the new one better, definitely. The larger size buttons versus the little round buttons. I just think it's, again, a little bit more futuristic and elegant looking. And then here, this one seems a little bit taller because, again, it's on the stand. But then, yeah, so we have the mute, camera shutter, and probably the biggest design difference is the fact that the camera itself on the 2nd gen was off over here on the right-hand side, as you can see. And I have it so that the shutter is actually now off as well, just to kind of match this guy here. And then the 3rd gen, the camera is centered right in the middle, which as a design piece, I think that makes a ton of sense and probably a good thing. And then it's saying that we got a network error after the upgrade, so we're going to go to network settings. It's probably just going to ask us to choose our Wi-Fi network, and indeed it will. And I'm going to pick Tatooine, and I'm sure you guys know what that reference is. If you do, drop a comment down below to show me that. And it's going to automatically connect because it has my login information saved for the cloud. So that was nice and easy. And now here I can just say continue, and it's still going to do some additional updating. There we go. So she's back, and that was after. So during that initial upgrade process where she needed to install some additional software updates, it rebooted. I had to reboot a couple times. And again, so I fast forwarded all that just to save you the pain of having to watch that through the video. So we are going to skip the Amazon Photos piece for now. And then appointments, reminders, every set of profile features. We're going to do that later as well. I already have that done. And then monitoring your home, blah, blah, blah. That we'll do later as well. Amazon Sidewalk, I do not use. So we're going to turn that off. I'm going to opt out of that. And then child friendly. So my kids are older and they don't live with me. So we're going to say a big no on that. And, you know, audiobooks and so forth, no. Almost done, and here we go. Here she comes. Let's see what
This
she says.
device is ready.
Yay! All right, so now we have finally got my Echo Show 8 3rd gen set up and configured, and let's just see when she's going to come on here. Oh,
Copy.
yep, here we go.
Okay, let's move on to the next.
Fine restaurants, blah, blah, blah. And
No
if you want to
problem.
skip through this like
If you
me,
want-
you can just swipe to get through it. And then here we go. So some information about my deliveries, and I'm sure that we have lots of other cool things. Recently played music, so it's going to automatically remember some of my preferences and all that good stuff. And there's my boy John Oates there looking very handsome. And so that is basically it. So now we're ready to go. And then if you want to mess with the settings, I believe it's, what do we do here? Yeah. So you swipe down from the top, you'll see a whole bunch of settings and things that you can configure, additional things. I just leave most of the stuff alone if I'm being honest. One of the cool things that you can use this for is to display your photos if you want to set up an Amazon Photos account and so forth. But yeah, so that's basically it. I'm upgrading over the 2nd gen, presumably if I decide I want to let my 2nd gen go. So that is basically the unboxing and also the brief comparison of the Amazon Echo Show 3rd gen. I hope you got some value from this video. If you did, if you just wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, helps out the channel a lot. And please consider subscribing. I do all sorts of videos about ALEXA devices and smart home and all manner of tech. So we hope to see you in the next video. And until next time, ciao for now.